Hi and welcome to Polly Puts Colour On. In this video I'm going to be sharing all of my completed pages for the month of September. As you can see, I have got quite a lot of books to share with you today. I've got some budgie colours, a whip, so quite a bit to share. So I'll get these moved out of the way and let's just get on with it. No time like the present and all that. And I have also purchased the planner from Amanda Colours. I decided to go for the undated one purely because I thought, right, I fancy like starting. I don't want to wait to January, so the uncoloured one was perfect for me. So I thought I've kind of tabbed this page because I kept struggling to find it, and I do really like the visual bit of seeing, you know, the green bit is how many pages I've done, pink is how many books. So some books I can really easily see. Obviously I did a few pages in, and then I can keep my tab, you know, keep track of things there. And then obviously I've got, you know, the bit I've started to fill in here. Got my uncoloured books, which looks an awful lot more when it's written down in a list, but you know, I'll work through it. I'm probably not going to bother too much using the plans bit massively. As you can see, I'm just kind of keeping it vague of Spacetember for this month, but partly that's because I did get it partway through the month. I will share this in a little bit more detail when I do my haul. So I have got, you know, it's been really useful for keeping tabs of budgie colours. I've been able to write down the things I've been using. But what I thought I'd like to share with you all, it's obviously kind of the monthly stats kind of page. So I have managed to work in 7 uncoloured books, and in total I worked in 16 different books. So a good chunk of those actually were uncoloured books, so that's really good. So I'm down to 29 uncoloured books now, which is brilliant progress. I'm kind of hoping that by the end of the year I might have, well, at least by Christmas I might have no uncoloured books, but that might be being a bit optimistic, but we'll see. I did do 6 budgie colours. 2 of those budgie colours were on the same page, so it's kind of 5 pages but 6 different budgies. Took part in 2 prompts, so one was Christina's Art Corners, one for the Spooky Witch Cat one, and one was obviously Spacetember. 21 different pages out of 16 books, and like I said, 29 uncoloured books touched, which is brilliant. That I'm down to that, which is brilliant. So my Instagram, so I'd looked on the 15th of September. So since the 15th of September to the end of the month, I've gained 48 new friends on Instagram. So hi to all of you that follow me on Instagram. And then on YouTube, since the 8th of September to the end, you can see on the 8th, I was at 1,000. So I'm up to 1,073 now, which is just amazing that I've gained another 73 friends on YouTube. And on that note, if you're, you know, if you like my videos, maybe you're a regular watcher, but you've not actually clicked that subscribe button, please click subscribe, you know, and like, comment, because it does make a massive difference to my channel, and obviously do it on all the other channels you watch as well, because it does really help us all. As you can see, I'm not filling in the Facebook bit because I don't have a Facebook page and I won't be setting one up for my colouring. That'd just be too much extra work, and I'd forget to go on there. But Instagram I already use, and obviously, you know, watch people on YouTube for years, so you can see I've only really got 1 whip to carry over into next month, which I'll share with you now. So you may have, hopefully you may have watched my Winging It Wednesday video, which, you know, it's not going to be every Wednesday, but hopefully it'll be pretty regular, once or twice a month perhaps. That whenever I try something a bit different, a bit new, it might be a new technique, a new medium, just a different idea I've got, that I thought I'll bring you along for the journey. So in this gorgeous book by Creativejoyus, I decided to have a go at watercolours. So if you look at my channel, you can see the video and see me actually doing all of this. Really pleased. It's obviously made the paper a bit crinkly, which I knew it would, but it's not gone through. I've obviously not got a huge amount left to finish. So I have got a portrait watercolour set that I bought on holiday in the summer. If you've seen my recent haul video for August, then you know, you will have seen that I bought those paints, but I've not actually tried them yet. So that's my plan on there. Not too sure what colour I do the flowers. So probably this coming Wednesday, my plan is to have this page finished, and, you know, there'll be part 2 of Winging It Wednesday, getting this page finished and trying kind of portrait watercolours for the first time. So yeah, that is a whip that hopefully will be finished very, very soon and won't be carrying on too far into October. So we'll start looking through my buddy colours. So I'm just going to need to get my planner back, because obviously I have got a few buddy colours and my memory is not that good to remember everybody's exact username. So the first buddy colour I've got is from Hannah Carson's Space book, which is just such an adorable little book. I do really enjoy this one. See, I've still not even done the title page. I do want to have a go at doing that sometime, because I do like to have the title pages done in all of my books. But the page that I buddied on was this cute one here. So as you see, I went very, very bright. And when I looked at the page, and I was like, oh, it's cute. Magic Space Bus, the Magic School Bus, not Space Bus. I'm thinking about Spacetember, Magic School Bus. Showed it to my husband, didn't say anything, and he looked and he was like, oh, it's Miss Fritz, it's a Magic School Bus. I went, yeah. So that's kind of where the inspiration for the colours, at least for the hair, came from. And I thought it'd be kind of cute to have the girl and the cat matching. And then I'd looked up a colour palette, and these were kind of the other colours that were suggested. And then I wasn't too sure what to do for the space sky, so I did go a little bit boring there, to be honest, with black and just shiny bits. So on this page, I used my Prismacolors actually for colouring all of this. To use some metallic pencils for the telescope bits, the Castle Art metallic ones, which I really don't use very often. Because normally, like, if I want a shiny finish, I want a shiny finish. I'm going to use a paint or a gel pen. But I knew I didn't want to just use kind of standard pencils, but I knew I didn't want it being too shiny. So actually, I think they've just done the job. That was kind of the colours I was wanting, and yeah, it turned out perfect. Really like how the Prismacolors managed to do the wood, or at least a slight wood effect around the edge. And yeah, I used a black acrylic pen. I think I had to do 2 layers to get it a little bit smoother in the sky. But yeah, really pleased with that. And I used an acrylic marker as well, just for kind of the wall, because I wasn't sure what colour to do the wall. So I thought I'd just go cream, keep it a bit neutral, because obviously there's a lot going on here. Didn't want to bring out too many other colours. Now, my buddy was Chrissy Wilcox 1103 on Instagram, so I will add her details down below. Her page, I'll insert that here, is just absolutely stunning. When she sent it through and I looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so much better than my page. I just really love the effect and the colours, and it's just amazing. Like, we've both done the same page, but it both turned out so differently. But I know when I said to her about, yeah, Magic School Bus was the inspiration for mine, she was like, oh yeah, I can see it. And like I say, her page, as you can see, is absolutely gorgeous. So if you don't follow her on Instagram, definitely go and check her out, because she's very talented. So, and obviously that counted for Spacetember. Then we've got a page by Maria Troll, got Shooting Star. Not done a huge amount in this one, which is kind of why I'd picked this out for September. And ended up doing a buddy colour with 2 people. So this is the page that ended up being like a double buddy colour, which was really nice. So I'll talk about my page and then I'll share theirs. So I used my Supracolour watercolour pencils. So I've already had a few that I bought when I was on holiday in America last summer, and then I bought a few more this summer. So I've got it here, and I've also got some of the cheaper standard ones, just the Swiss colour ones, not the more expensive ones. So you see, I've got quite a chunky amount now. So I'm kind of happy with that. I've got quite a lot of colours to pick from now. But as you can see, I did still stick like pretty, plain, pretty muted. Just thought it looked like such a pretty page. I wanted to kind of keep it relatively light, and then just let this star really stand out. So I did a teeny tiny bit of shading on these bigger leaves, but that was about it really. Went over some of the lines with my Languo gel pens. I think I coloured those little leaves in on these ones with the Languo gel pens. Went over some of the lines down here, as you can see, and like on the axolotls. Then I used on the little bubbles in the water. Let me just double check, because I did do this one quite early on in the month. I think that was just a cheap watercolour paint. And then I've got that I use my Temu, I never know how to say it. Like just the cheap gold paint there for the star, which isn't quite as shiny as some of my other, more expensive gold paints. But with it being such a big area, and actually with it being kind of a muted sort of picture, I thought actually that would still stand out quite nicely, and it is still lovely and shiny. And even with that paint on, it's not gone through. Like, obviously the page is a bit crinkly, but it's turned out really nicely, I think. And I've just realised actually I've forgotten to put a sheet of the wax paper, so let me get that out ready. So I'll share my 2 buddy colour pages here. So one buddy was with Zufira Art, so definitely go and check out her YouTube channel. I'll link her down in the description. She's absolutely wonderful. Her page is kind of a little bit similar to mine in that she went kind of a little bit more pale and muted, and hers just looks so pretty, really nice. Kind of saw hers, and I was like, and it was before I started mine really, and I was like, oh, that was kind of what I was thinking of doing. And when then you've got it in, you're like, oh, I don't want it to look like I've copied her. But actually, although we've kind of used similar colours, they still look really different. Hers looks so pretty. And then the other buddy that we did it with was with Lisa's Colouring Nook on Instagram. Again, I'll link her down in the description below. Hers turned out so differently from mine and Zufira Art's page, like just so like bold and vivid in comparison. And it was just lovely to see like that one page coloured 3 different ways, and they've all turned out a little bit differently, even though really it is quite a simple image. Like there's not that much on there. So it was just amazing that they've all turned out quite differently. So I did do a little bit of a background as well. I just kind of scribbled some of the pencil onto my Caran d'Ache, the texture board, and added some water and just used it that way so that it was nice and light. But yeah, thank you to both of my buddies. It was a lot of fun doing it with both of you. Hopefully we might do another one together soon. I think I have actually already possibly got one lined up, I think, for next month. It's always a bit confusing, isn't it? It's the 1st of October. I think I've got one lined up for this month with Lisa's Colouring Nook. But I can't remember because my memory these last couple of weeks, I don't know whether it's my age or being tired or what, but yeah, not thinking straight. So now I've got 2 buddy colours in Fragile World by Kirby Rosannes. They are 2 different pages though, so there is 2 pages to show you in this one. So let me find them. So even though I've not had this book for that long, I've already got 3 pages done in this book, which is just brilliant. So this one I coloured was a buddy. And I'll share my buddy's picture in a second. Now, I wasn't too sure what to do for this because obviously I was like, well, tiger orange. I think it turned out slightly more orange than I meant to, but then I thought, do I lighten him? And then I thought, actually, no, let's just go for it. I kind of like that he's a bit bold and then his teeth are really white and he looks a bit funny, but I suppose we all look a bit funny, don't we, sometimes? So I used Inktense pencils to base basically everything other than the sky. And then I went in, I didn't actually do any pencil shading on the leaves. What I did is I used my Language gel pens. I'll just hold it up to the camera, hopefully it will show. So I used a more greeny colour on these ones to add like a little highlight. And then on these ones, I used it was kind of like a yellowy, limey kind of green, just to add a little bit of a highlight. And it's subtle, but I do really like the effect that it added, and it was a lot quicker than trying to shade with pencils, and a lot of fun actually, just picking a couple of pens and using them. As you can see, because I coloured the tiger orange and then thought afterwards to look at a picture of a tiger, like why I didn't do that before, I really don't know, but I think I just picked my pencils up and got carried away and realised, oh, I should have put some white in him. Like, I know tigers have a bit of white in them, but in my head I was like, oh, they're black and orange. So I went in with a white gel pen and just added a little bit of white in there on the chest just to lighten that area a bit. I did the tiniest little bit of shading onto the butterflies, but not a lot really. And I used a gel pen just to colour in the centre of their bodies. Then the background, I used chalk pastel because I couldn't decide what to do. I was going to do a blue sky and I thought it's a bit boring. I've got this bright orange tiger. Let's just go for some colours in the sky. So trying to get a little bit of a sunset, sunrise kind of effect in the background. It's maybe not the best, but I kind of like the effect it gives. We've got a bit of red, orange going up to yellow. Once I'd done the chalk pastel, I thought, still doesn't look quite right. So I decided to get some watercolour and, as you can see, did a bit of splattering in the background. Not really sure what I was going for there, but I kind of like the effect it gives. There's nothing wrong with adding a little bit of extra sparkle, is there? So yeah, mainly Inktense pencils on this page, and then just some little sample watercolour paints that I've added a bit of water to for the background. So my buddy colours page I will show you now, and this buddy was with the lovely creativejoyus on Instagram. Again, I'll leave them down in the description. Obviously, you know, it's a tiger. It's one of those things you look at and it's a tiger. It's sort of kind of give you some ideas in your head of what colours to use, i.e. orange. So there is obviously some similarities between our picture, but I really, really love how they tackle the background, and I just love the effect they went for, like having the orange butterflies. It just looks brilliant. I'd kind of toyed with that idea and then decided not to, and I'm kind of glad, because then that means that our pages look, you know, they look more different, and their page is just absolutely beautiful. So definitely go and check them out on Instagram as well. So the other buddy colour that I did in Fragile World was this page, which is probably my favourite page out of the whole book. So I was really glad to colour this one, actually, because otters are my absolute favourite animal. So I coloured this one. Again, I used Inktense. I think with Kirby's style, that's probably what I'm going to stick mostly with, because, you know, there's big areas, but also because he's got all the textures and the patterns on, it kind of, you know, I've kind of found if I put Inktense down, I don't need to do too much else. So I did go in and do a little bit of shading with Black Widows on this, just subtly, really. A little bit on the crab, a bit on the fur, a bit on the leaves, just to deepen them up a little bit, but not massively. Used Inktense on the water as well. Obviously, I didn't up in the clouds. You can probably tell from the effect I got there. I used chalk pastel and just a little homemade, I've had it for a while, that's why it's looking a little bit battered. I probably need to cut a new one out soon. Homemade little cloud stencil that I made out of some card a while ago, and just used a few different shades of chalk pastel to add the cloud kind of effect in the background, which I really like how that looked. And then on the water and the bubbles, I used some watercolour paint, and I used, oh yeah, the bubbles actually were a glittery pen, I think from the Dollarama. And yeah, the paint on here, you can just see how lovely and sparkly that is. That is from a company on Etsy called Dracula, as in Dracula. Again, I'll link them down in the description if you want to check them out. They've got some gorgeous different paints and really quite reasonably priced as well, but they're still amazing quality. And I just love how shiny that comes out. I had you know, I kind of was tempted to try and do like proper water, you know, white foamy water, and then I thought, I don't know how to do that, and I don't want to ruin this page, so I kind of kept it nice and simple, but I still really like this page. So I'll share my buddy colours page here. Gosh, me and words today. Their page is absolutely stunning. I really, really love what they did with the sky. It was such a cool effect. I probably messaged about it. My buddy said that they'd actually got like a real life photo that they'd taken that was their inspiration, and they shared it with me. And yeah, I can really say they did such a good job in kind of mimicking what they'd seen in the real world on their sky. It was just amazing. So definitely check out plancreatecope on Instagram, because that's who my buddy was with. And then you can, you know, obviously follow them and see all the other gorgeous pictures that they do. So that's the two buddy colours I've done in there. So we're nearly done with buddy colours now. So then we're on to Erie's fairy tale book. And the page that I did in this one was the Wizard of Oz page. So I used my Arteza watercolour pencils to base pretty much everything. I used, I think there's like a peachy pink colour in my Supra colours that I used for the skin, but other than that I used Arteza watercolour pencils, went back in then with them dry to add a little bit of shading. The dress there, I used my Castle Art soft touch pencils actually to do the dress, because I thought about using the watercolour pencils, then I thought I want the dress to pop a little bit more. And then a bit of chalk pastel in the sky. For the flowers, I coloured the actual flower parts in with wax paper sliding. Coloured the actual flowers in with like really fine acrylic marker pens that I've got. Went over the little details on the grass with Languo gel pens, just to add a little bit of detail into there. And then, as you can see up on the Emerald City, used various different gold paints that I've got. Some were from Dracula, and then one was a Renaissance colour paint. Again, I'll link both of them down below. Can't remember which one was which, to be honest, but they're both like really, really pretty greens. Obviously used a gold as well for like the windows and the flags, and I used that same gold down on the yellow brick road just to make that a nice shiny bit, and then added red, and that was definitely the Dracula paint as well. Just look how vivid and bright and shiny that is. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and none of those paints have gone through, because if you've got an Eriy book, you know just how brilliant the paper is. So I'll share my buddies page here. My buddy was an Instagram buddy, I and my pets too. Again, their page was really, really pretty. It is kind of one of those pages that you look at, it's Wizard of Oz, and there's obviously going to be some similarities because, you know, it's Wizard of Oz. You picture the yellow brick road, you picture the green walls behind you. So there is a lot of similarities, but still also an awful lot of differences. And I think my buddy did an absolutely gorgeous job with their page. So definitely go and check them out on Instagram as well. And it's lovely to have another page done in this one, because I think the only other ones I've done is this double page spread here, and I think that's it. Yeah, I've not got around yet to doing the kind of introduction pages at the start. I do want to get those done at some point, but I'm not quite sure when that will be. So that's all of my buddy colours now. So we'll just start working through all my other pages. So one page that I'd been planning on doing this month was kind of the title page in the Asian book by Rita Berman, and it was this one. Now, I haven't got a lot to say about this page, to be honest. It's not my favourite. It's not the worst page I've coloured, but it's definitely not my favourite. It's not my best colouring. I used Arteza Twine marker pens for most of this. I did use a couple of Crayola Super Tips as well. It wasn't the mediums that I used, but you know, when you've just started a pet, like I started up here and I was quite enjoying it. And I was like, I don't really know what to do for the rest. I think the trouble is I started the page and I didn't really know what I was doing, which I do that sometimes with pages. I don't really have a plan and it all comes together. So I kind of thought it would with this page, but it really didn't. So I'd done this bit, obviously had a handful of colours that I'd used there. So I thought, right, that's a lot of colours. Let's just keep using all the way around. And yeah, this is the result. So definitely not my favourite page, but at least I have finally done the title page in the book. So at least it is a completed page, even if it's not my favourite. But I suppose it is nice. You know, it is quite nice and bright and colourful and cheery, so I'll take that. And nothing bled through on the other side. So yeah, at least I did get a Rita Berman page done this month. So we'll do a couple of cute and cozy books now. So I've got Cat Moments by Hikaru Kotz. This was an uncoloured book, so it was nice to get into this one. So I did this one. As you can see, literally on the last day of the month, I was like, what shall I colour? And I thought, I've not done the first couple of pages in this book. And I do like to try and get them done kind of, you know, if I've done a page further on in the book, I want to try and get these first bits done. So the first couple of pages have got a bit of a funny colour palette because I decided to use these markers from the works that I've got on my desk, mainly because my daughter was looking on my desk and she's like, do you use these pens much? And I was like, no, not really. They are nice. They're in a little case. They fit quite nicely off to the side on my desk. But I don't know whether they're right in front of me, I forget about them. There is some nice colours in there, but also there's not many light shades, which I think is kind of one reason I don't, I've not used them a massive amount. But I thought, no, tell you what, I'll get them out, I'll use them, because at least it is a relatively limited colour palette. Like, it's not a huge amount of markers to pick from. So I did that, and then added white gel pen. And I thought it was kind of cute. I thought that was a photo of that cat. And then I kind of figured the owners had seen the clock in a shop and wanted, bought it because it matched their cat. That was my thinking there. So then I did this little page again, using those markers from the works. And yeah, it's not a lot to say about that, really. It was just really fun, really quick, really quite therapeutic, to be honest, just having just a handful of markers to pick from and like telling myself, right, you've got to use those. And yeah, I think he looks quite cute. And then the other page I did again with the markers from the works was this colour test page. So I just kind of picked up colours, went here and there, thought, right, I started with the heart because that was red, the mushroom because, I thought that was going to be red. And yeah, just kind of picked up a few colours and just dotted them around. It's not the most cohesive page, but, it's done. And it was fun to do with just doing, all the little elements. So it was fun to do. And then the actual page, so to speak, that I did in this book was this one. This video, this page has got a video for it. It's a members only video, the first one on the channel. And in it, I kind of talk about my plans for, kind of the memberships, especially the membership videos. So I used my Ohuhu alcohol markers for this page, the Honolulu ones, and then a white gel pen. And I had a little go at adding a little bit of texture onto the soil, and also had a go at adding a bit of pattern into the water, which I've never really done before. And I think it turned out all right. Saying as it's like the first time I've tried it, I think it looks quite effective. So yeah, really cute page. The cat I coloured black and white, kind of inspired by what would have been our eldest cat, Amiga. He's sadly no longer with us, and we lost him quite a few years ago now, but he's, still very much in our thoughts. And his name is the name of the top tier on my membership channel, so it seemed very fitting to colour this little chap inspired by him. It's not the same patterning, but it's kind of similar. He was black and white, and he did love to do a big boy stretch. So there's that one from Cat Moments. Then again this one was on my members live stream. I coloured a page from Sweet, that's how you say it, Hugo Delights. And again, this was an uncoloured book, so it was nice to get a page done in here. And I did this really fun, bright kind of summary page, which was nice. Very, very bright, very, very colourful. Kind of started out thinking, I might try and keep it like limited, and then soon realised that is not happening. There's far too many sweets and things going on for that really to be an option. But I really like actually how it came out. I could try to make sure that the different colours were dotted around the page to keep it kind of, a little bit coherent. Again, trying to add a little bit of a pattern into the water. I don't think it worked quite as well as on the cat page. I don't know whether it's the paper or the colours I picked, or maybe both, but quite like it. White gel pen details, and then a little bit of gold sparkly pen. And I like how I managed to get the little glasses looking a bit shiny there as well, using a white gel pen. So that one was a lot of fun, and again, nice to get a page coloured in an uncoloured book. So yeah, if you're interested in memberships, if you have a look on the channel, click on the join button. It doesn't mean that it automatically signs you up, it just brings up the different levels so that you can have a look and decide which level might be right for you. But obviously, don't feel like you need to join. Just you watching videos, subscribing, commenting. It really means a lot when I see comments, because that's why I started YouTube, so that I can get in touch with other people who enjoy colouring and kind of make those friendships that way. So again, this was an uncoloured book. I was so excited to get this one because the first one is my most coloured in book, even though I've not had it as long as some of the other colouring books. I think I've coloured about 50% so far in the first one. So I was very excited to get this. And again, Christina's Art Corner started a hashtag for this book. I do need to catch up on August's pages, which I think was that one. And then she'd got that you could do the bonus ones of the little characters. So I do need to go back and colour those in at some point. But September's page was this one. Obviously, with it being Spacetember, it's got planets and stars, so it works perfectly. And this is very bright, and I am aware it is very chaotic, but actually I really, really like it. And I really like the fact that this is all bright and different. Wow! And then you've got this normal little coloured bit there, like the window into the, you know, where she's come from or where she's going. Looks more like where she's coming from, I guess, and going off on her channel, on her travels. Yeah, use alcohol markers on this, because although there is a story, like, I can still just about read it, and I'd rather use alcohol markers, to be honest, because it's fun on these images. And I think that's one reason why the first book has got so many coloured in, because it's, you know, using alcohol markers to speed things up. So yeah, use alcohol markers for everything, including the background. Did go a little bit patchy because the marker started running out a little bit, but actually I kind of like the effect because I think it just adds to the night sky feel. Went in and added white gel pen dots as well. And then for all of the shiny bits, I used paint from Renaissance Colours. It was the Chrome Pop collection. I think I used the orange, that bluey green colour, that blue. I'm sure there was another colour somewhere. Oh, and then that pinky purple as well around the edge. So lots of different colours from that set were used on here. I just love it. It's such a fun illustration, such a fun book. But yeah, one reason I did those planets that bright is when I was looking through to try and pick colours, I thought, hang on a minute, let's use my neons. I don't use them very often, and that could work well because I could put yellow and orange as a pair for some of the planets, and then the red and pink neons in pairs for the other bits, and then obviously reuse them around there. And yeah, I just love it. It is wild, it is wacky, but actually, I think for a magical cat off on her space journey travels, however you want to think about it, I think it looks really cool. And I added a little gold orange effect around the edge using one of these glitter twin markers from Deco Time, mainly because obviously I'd coloured the cat dark coloured, inspired by the front cover. Then thought I want to do the sky dark. I thought, well, the cat's just going to blend in then, so I thought, right, I'll just add a little pop round, make it look as if the cat's magical and glowing, and I think it turned out all right. So again, I'll link Christina's Art Corner channel down in the description below. Definitely check her channel out. She does some wonderful videos, and obviously check her out on Instagram as well, so that you can follow along for this hashtag if you have this book. So then we've got Fuzzy Meowies 3. This was a page that was coloured on a live stream. Obviously, it's Mandalorian and little Grogu, and I'm so proud of this page. Wasn't sure, I kind of had a picture of what I wanted for these colours, and then I figured because these were grey, I didn't want the stonework to be grey, but then I didn't know what to do for the sky. I thought, do I do it black? Do I do it blue? And I thought that's a bit boring. So it was on a live stream, but I had my very first go at doing a blended sky. So I did have a little practice in the back. That one I wasn't too happy with, so then I added in one extra colour, and I have written it down. I do need to transfer it into my swatch, but at least I've got it written down so that I don't forget it. And then obviously had a go at doing it there as a real thing. Went over the black lines on the clouds with a white gel pen, and I'm just really chuffed. I know it's only a teeny tiny little bit of sky, but for a first attempt at blending alcohol markers on such a central part of the page as well, and on camera, like on live stream, I'm just really proud of myself. So definitely want to try doing that again, so that I can get better at it, more confident. Obviously, I've got some colours that I could use as well now, so it might be a bit less daunting next time. But yeah, relatively simple page for all the rest of it, but yeah, really love how this one turned out. I think it's awesome, and this is the Fuzzy Meowies books are so fun. Obviously, and that was coloured with alcohol markers, but you probably all figured that out anyway, with it being a cute and cozy book. So then we've got Spooky Moments by Jade Summer. Again, this is one that was coloured on a live stream, so if you've not seen my live streams, normally every Monday I do a live stream Normally I will colour a cute and cosy page. Sometimes I don't, but you know, quite often I do because it's nice. I can get it done in the live stream from start to finish. Obviously I picked this book partly because it was uncoloured, so it's nice to get a page coloured in it, but obviously it worked for Spacetember, and I had a go again, something new on a live stream. What was I thinking? But it was my very first time of adding a glow effect. So I did a little bit around the edge of like the tractor beam, but then all these bits on the carrot, the bench, the bird. I'm just so pleased with how it turned out. When I first did it, like put the bits down for like the glow highlight bits and then started colouring the rest in, I thought, oh, I don't know about this. I think this is going to look awful when it's done. I thought, no, you know, everyone always says trust the process. So I stuck with it. Really pleased with how it turned out. Went a little bit around the edge with a white Prismacolor pencil because I've seen other people doing that, and I'm just really pleased with this page. I think it turned out pretty good. So I definitely want to try doing this kind of glow effect again, maybe on, I don't know, a page that's got a moon on or TV screen, I don't know, but I definitely want to try it again because it was a lot of fun. So yeah, again, that was coloured with my Ohuhu alcohol markers, the Honolulu ones. And yeah, it's just such a lot of fun. But yeah, really chuffed with how that turned out. So yeah, if you ever want to catch my live streams, obviously try and catch me on a Monday night. But they are there on the channel that you can watch back afterwards. You know, if like me, sometimes you like having things like that on in the background. That might be something you want to have a look at. So again, got to another uncoloured book, and this one was Woodland Whimsy. So I did this page. So this was super duper quick and simple, but so fun. So for the colouring, I did use alcohol markers, but I didn't use my Ohuhu ones for these. I just used my cheap and cheerful ones that I had, like these ones that I bought before I kind of invested in a more expensive set of alcohol markers. I think they're off TikTok Shop or Temu or something. I can't remember. I bought them a while ago now, but they still work. Don't want them to dry out and go to waste. So I coloured this little chap. Use a little bit of gel pen on the little pink nose, a little bit of white gel pen, and then the background. Hopefully you might be able to just about see it is a little bit shimmery. The background, I used something new that I'd bought on holiday, which has just slipped out of view and I can't see them now. Where have they got to? Oh, they're hiding. Here they are. I tidied my trolley up and I can't find what I'm after. So I bought these on holiday, these twistable metallic gel crayons by Montmartre. So I wanted to give them a little go because I do use gel crayons sometimes for backgrounds and they're such a lot of fun to use. So I picked those up on holiday because I hadn't got any like shiny metallic ones. So I wanted to see how much of a sparkle they would give. And I thought there's a nice big space. I can get a really good idea. So I don't know how well it's actually picking up on camera, but it has given such a lovely sparkly shine to it. Like really pretty. So I'll definitely use these again for backgrounds because it's just beautiful. And I did use a little bit of the green one down the bottom as well, just to try that one out. And just really pleased with that. It didn't take long at all, but it was a lot of fun. There's just such sweet images in this book. Although it's single-sided, so alcohol markers in theory would be great. There's obviously some pages I've got a lot of fine detail, so alcohol markers might not work great, but yeah, absolutely gorgeous book. So I'm glad to have a page done in that one. Then this one was completed very recently, again on a live stream. Again, this was an uncoloured book. Seems to be a bit of a theme here. So this was Baby Stitch. I bought this one from Lyrica. And I did this one. I was so chuffed with how it turned out. Very different kind of colour palette. Kind of started with Stitch. Well, you know, I wanted Stitch kind of colours. I thought, what do I do for the background? A bit like on the Mandalorian page from Fuzzy Mavies 3. Thought, I don't want to do just a dark coloured sky background. That's a bit boring. What can I do? So, you know, different ideas were thrown about on the live stream. It's like, right, galaxy effect. So I picked a couple of colours, kind of roughly blended them together. added a little bit of a glow effect as well in places. And yeah, I just really love the effect, like disco stitch. And then use some glitter gel, the Pentel glitter gel pens, and again on there. And there still is a bit of texture on this. And I thought, right, well, I'll wait till it's dry, maybe go over it again. But actually, I really like, it might not pick up on camera, I really like the subtle texture it's given to it, because I think it kind of looks as if it's meant to be there and it's part of the rings around the planet. So yeah, love the different colour palette that I went for on this page. And I think Stitch, he just looks so cool there, doesn't he, striking that pose. Obviously this was another page that went the Spacetember, you know, Stitch is an alien, obviously all those planets and stars as well. Just looks so funny on the back. I always think they were alcohol marker pages, doesn't it? So you can definitely see the bits that I used gel pen on. So yeah, it was brilliant to get a page done in this book, because it's such a gorgeous high quality book. Like the paper's really nice and thick, obviously it's single-sided, and it is stitch bound as well. I'm aware of the irony there, it's a book about Stitch and talking about it being stitch bound, but yeah, super top quality book, that one. It was just brilliant to get a page done in that one. Tick it off the uncoloured book list. So then I finally finished all of the characters in Leon's journey. So I have shared this page before on the channel. I had already done that bit, Leon, Lily Marie, Latte and Mocha, and it was just Baron that I'd got left to do. And I've just noticed, and I've said it's finished, and I haven't coloured the moon in. And I know why I haven't coloured the moon in. I was very good for once. I'd looked at the page and thought, right, I've just done that gel pen. I spotted the moon and thought, no, if I go in and colour the moon now, I will smudge something. So I didn't colour it, and then obviously forgot. So let me just see if I can find a silver gel pen, and we shall colour it and finish it live together so that it's done. Because else I've got a funny feeling I will put the book away and forget that this little bit isn't coloured. There we go, all done. So now it's definitely finished. So I used Prismacolor pencils there, a little bit of gel pen on the watch face, and for the writing, a little bit of white gel pen, and obviously, as you've just seen, a silver gel pen on the moon. And that's everything on that page. So it's nice that I finally got all of the characters done. I have got all of their colour combinations written down. I have already done, I did a page earlier, a month or two ago now. This one was done on a live stream. So it's nice that I've got that one done, but I have finally finished off this little page as well, so it can go back on my shelf with my other Kaneko Igusa books, rather than just being kept to the side, so that I didn't forget I needed to colour in Baron. So yep, only a little bit done, but at least it is finished now. So then we've got Cozy Eras 2. As you can see, I've got quite a few tabs here. Again, it's another gorgeous book by Jade Summer. I think Jade Summer is one of my favourite publishers of cute and cozy books. It's just something about their style. They're just so cute. So I did this one here. Again, this was Ohuhu Honolulu alcohol markers. I really like the different colours that I used on that page. And again, a little bit of white gel pen. Then I did this one, again, the same markers. I kind of sat and just did these first few pages in one go, to be honest. Had a little go at adding a bit of pattern onto the umbrella, which I think I turned out quite sweet. Again, a little bit of white gel pen. And then I did that one. So although it's not really a page that needed colouring, I thought, well, there's not too many things on it. And then, you know, it's done and dusted. I quite like the colours that I've went for on their little outfits. And then the actual kind of main page I did in this one was this one. So again, this one was a live stream on the channel. Didn't try anything different on here particularly, other than the fact that I went for slightly different colour scheme. So I kind of knew that I wanted the bunny and the rocket to match and to be those colours. So I kind of started there. And then there was lots of suggestions in the chat for different colours, because I got so far and then I was like, I just don't know what to do. What do we do for the flowers? What do we do for this? So it was really helpful doing it on live stream, actually, to give me some ideas, because I just wanted it to look a bit different. And I think I achieved that. Used a little bit of black gel pen, a sparkly black gel pen to go over the alien's eyes. And then on the planet, I used a couple of colours and then used a white gel pen and added some little dots, just to add a tiny bit of pattern, tiny bit of texture there. I'm really pleased with how that turned out. I just love the colours of the little bunny spacesuit. Just looks so pretty. So yeah, that was another one done on a live stream, and again another one that counts for Spacetember. And then the last one I've got to share with you is from The Beauty of Horror, Giuliana's Sanctuary for Monsters. So if this isn't your cup of tea, you know, thank you for watching so far. Please drop a comment down below, like a space themed one, a star, planet, shooting star, rocket, whatever you can find. But if you are into horror things, then keep watching. So this is the copy that I was so very lucky to win from the wonderful Colour with Claire. It's even signed, so I have got a dedicated video to this where I do a flip through and then talk about how I'm going to approach this book. And the main thing that I'm aiming to do with this book is to use it as a kind of whole book whip, inspired by Coloured by Maya, because I thought it's a storybook and there's a lot of characters that are repeated throughout, and I want them to look kind of cohesive and, you know, to match. So I thought, right, what I'm going to do, I came up with some colours for the this character here, Agatha. It gives ideas here on what she looks like, because it says flawless skin, piercing blue eyes and a scarlet bob. So that's kind of where I drew my inspiration from here. If you want to see me colouring this, that is in that video that's on my channel. So what I've been doing is I've got a little pot on my desk. It's got all of the pencils and the gel pen that I used for kind of the lipstick. Got them in a pot on my desk, so whenever I fancy, I can pick this book up and have a look through. So there we can see it's her hand. So yes, I'd need a colour for her nail polish, but I could come in and colour her hand. And then if we turn over again she's there, so I could colour her hands and her face and her hair in. So whenever I fancy doing a bit of colouring, but I'm not sure what to colour, I'm planning on picking this book up and kind of slowly chipping away at it. And eventually, many years from now, probably, 20 years or something from now, it might be finished. I'm not putting pressure on myself to say I need to do a page a month, but it might be once one page is getting towards completion, maybe then I might try and push and try and get it finished. But very chilled at the minute. So yeah, I've used Prismacolors for all of this, and then a Sakura a glaze pen for the lipstick. As you can see, I've not coloured her clothes in. I still don't know what colour I'm going to do for the clothes, so I'm not worried about that at the minute. I'm going to go through and colour her hair, her skin and everything on all of the pages. Then maybe think about the next character, and it might be ages before I get around to doing her clothes, because I'm thinking I might want to wait until I've done other elements on the page to try and work out what kind of outfit colours would work, because I had been thinking dark colours, but then I'm thinking if on some of the pages she's on that I want the background to be dark, then I don't want the clothes to be dark as well, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's this book. Hopefully you'll see every month. Maybe I've done a teeny tiny bit more. You might see it, you might not. So it's kind of a project book, a little bit like Ivy and the Inca Butterfly. But yeah, definitely no pressure on actually getting it finished. Just, slow and steady progress, hopefully. So thank you very much if you've watched to the end. Can't believe how much I've got done this month. Like, absolutely shed those. Thank you again to all of my buddies. Obviously, if you've enjoyed this video, please click like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Maybe drop a comment down below with which was your favourite book from this month, your favourite page. Get in touch. If you've got any questions, you're interested in doing your buddy colour, whatever it is, it would be lovely to hear from you. So thank you for watching. Like I say, maybe pop a Spacetember themed emoji down in the comments so I know that you've watched to the end. And take care, everyone, and I'll catch you in the next one.